Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Queen's Wish 2. So we are still in Sacramentum, as you can see. I actually just reloaded a bunch because the little tip that happened to pop up as soon as I loaded into the game was actually kind of fun. And I was hoping to see that again, but I guess there are a bunch of them, and I'm just not getting the same one again. It's not important either way. The thing is, it disappears as soon as you press any button, including my start recording button, so that's why I couldn't have had that on screen. Anyway, we are going to, as per what I discussed last time, head over to the Walkwood mines, which I guess, for which I suppose I should first fast travel over there. Probably not worth, well, I don't know how much in-game time that journey would have taken on foot, but, well, again, not very important, probably. We're just going to make our way up from here, doing the first real bit of exploration outside. Well, I suppose I did look around here ever so slightly, explored that dead grove, but yeah, nothing north of the road yet. So let's do that, I guess. Now, the thing is, I have actually already cleared this upcoming dungeon. And I'm redoing this episode because of a combination of factors. So I basically went through, well, the first half of it or so, which, well, you're going to see, is a little bit puzzling for probably unintended reasons. I'm still not entirely sure what to think about it, but at least now I know, well, how I solved it, how I ended up solving it last time, and I should be able to replicate that. So that should go a lot more smoothly than it did before. But that's not the reason I'm re-recording this. I would have been okay with keeping it as it is, but I ended up having to pause the recording for unrelated reasons, and I came back hours later, which not only left me more tired and unfocused for some reason, but it also ended up actually corrupting part of the video. And so, you know, that was the final straw basically, and which made me decide to not just record part of it, or, you know, like record a voiceover and explaining what happened, but I'm just going to redo the whole thing, which should go, well, hopefully a lot more smoothly. But, I mean, that's not usually how this goes in the, you know, in the rare occasions when I actually end up re-recording anyway. So we'll see. Okay, wait, yeah, we're not getting another explanation about these dead groves, which, you know, there are more than two. I thought someone mentioned that there were two. Actually, it's probably a lot more than that. I don't know where I got that number from. I yeah, must have probably misinterpreted something. Anyway, I guess we would have gotten that first message about them, no matter which one we entered first. Can we please move? Okay, not sure. So I was clicking on unwalkable terrain or something. Let's say here, mines north. Yep, that's exactly where we're headed. Hello. This road is patrolled by a band of warriors of Haven, surprisingly. They're shocked and honored that a prince would be visiting their little corner of the forest. They give you directions to the Walkwood mines to the north. They say it was a profitable Haven claim fallen to the dark magic of the forest. They mentioned that if it was reclaimed, it could be a profitable source of iron. That's exactly why I'm on my way there. I am very intrigued by that little campsite there, but I'm resisting the temptation and entering here instead. You walk up the path to Walkwood mines. Signs identified as a claim of Haven should be a good source of resources. Travel is kind of slow. As you walk, little tendrils of root reach out of the ground and grab your feet. The Havenites are up ahead. It's an odd display. Instead of being safely indoors, they are all camped out here. The path is blocked by a wall of trees. In the camp, several soldiers guard a group of hungry, dispirited prisoners. All is not well here. Well, is it ever? So, you know, that message about Groots, not Groots, recently played Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess that's that explains where that came from. The roots constantly growing out of the ground and grabbing at your feet, and that seems like not only very disturbing, but also like it would actually make moving around difficult, and like we should constantly be entangled. Thankfully, the game is not that literal about it. Anyway, we got some convicts here, so this is that second place that that is using convicts as workers here in the Rokaj, that we had heard about first, actually. Anyway, Sergeant Dillon, hello. You meet an armed soldier of Haven. She stands at the alert, sword at the ready. Most of the other people here are convicts, criminals of Haven who are paying for their crimes by working out here in the wilderness. I guess a maybe slightly more forgiving place to, you know, work out your sentence. compared to the Daga. At least it's not quite as hot. Definitely would be better for me. Most of the other people here are convicts, yes. Discipline is pretty lax out here. The soldier brushes some dried food off of our armor, runs up to you, and sort of salutes. Well, what an honor. We didn't know we would get the prince out here. I'm Sergeant Dillon. She shouts at the convicts, "Show some respect, worms! A prince has come to help us through all our troubles." Well, you technically don't know that yet, but you happen to be correct, so yeah. Don't get too excited, I'm just passing through. No, hello Sergeant, I'm Prince Atantuo of Haven. Yeah. It is such an honor, and a bit of good news. The trees are attacking us. We weren't really prepared for that, begging your pardon. Well, I guess I was gonna say you can't really be prepared for that kind of thing, but then again, this is the Kranus, so I guess it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. Especially since apparently these problems have been going on for, what was it, a year? I think someone told me. So, yeah. Anyway, tell me about the Kranus. Not that we really need to know anymore. Ah, yes, the forest. She looks at the trees that surround her. They look like they could all rush in on you at any moment, eradicating any sign that you were ever here. Really? I'm not sure how the trees give us that impression exactly. The vessels here are alright, I guess. I've seen worse. The governor has things under control. Everything except the forest. Yeah, well, not so sure about that part, but okay. How have the road treated you? Oh, they're always perfect. Smiling, kind, say all the right things. But that's just how the Row are. Don't be fooled. My great-grandfather fought in the Great Uprising. They were nice then, too, right up to the killing. Yeah, tell me about the governor. Governor Yvette keeps control of everything. She watches all, and she's always looking for advantage. A pause. For Haven, I mean. Right. The soldier is not foolish enough to say anything bad about the governor. Not that any more bad things about the governor are required. Tell me about the forest. Well, it's been attacking. Hostile. Started about a year ago. The Rows say the groves are angry. Don't know what that means. Well, it seems pretty straightforward to me. I know the trees here are angry. Their roots came out of the ground and attack us. Happened in the mines first, then out here on the surface. Okay. Haven has a mine here. That's not exactly a question. We do. Haven trades for a lot of iron in the Kranus, but this is the only mine we control ourselves. It's a good one, too. We have piles of ore out in the West Woods, waiting for Governor Yvette to use it as she wishes. As she talks, she constantly watches the convicts. They're a hungry, dispirited bunch, but Dillon isn't going to be caught by surprise. Where does the iron go? I'm just a sergeant. I can't question the governor. I'm sure she's very wise and uses it all for the good of Haven. Right. How did you claim this land? I mean, not she personally, I guess. More like how did we claim it, right? I think we got it about 20 years ago, not long after Yvette became governor. Don't know how she got the Rasa to deed this land to us. Paying a lot of money, most likely. Who are your workers? Convicts, thieves, smugglers, that sort of thing. Minor criminals. They get sent out here for 5-year terms to learn how to be better citizens. And better miners, I guess. Ever have any problems with them? One of them looks up at her. She sneers at him. He looks down again. Oh, of course, they're criminals. Not great workers. We have ways to motivate them. Don't worry. They produce for us. Oh, okay. Any escape attempts? Oh no, that's one thing we don't have to worry about. Anyone who runs off into the Kranus woods gets got by trees or brigands. They know this is the only place they can be safe. Well, up until recently, I guess. So what's the problem here? Roots. The woods are angry. It sends wads of roots out of the ground to strangle us. You're trapped outside your barracks? Sad story that we were hiding in the barracks, then the whole building started to shake, like the roots had grabbed it. We ran out here and the trees shot up behind us. Never seen anything like it. We were getting ready to make a run for Fort Grove 2 when you arrived. Lose any workers? We did in the first attack on the surface. Didn't think they could get us up here. Some Havenite prisoners were hauling ore in the woods to the west. The roots reached out and grabbed them. They couldn't get out. Their screams... She shakes her head. None of us have gone out there since. The first attack on the surface. Okay. Because I was wondering about this one. I guess it's nice that I get a chance to take another look at this. Because as soon as we're going to cross the bridge into the West Forest, the game's going to tell me that apparently no one has been over there in months, which made me wonder if she didn't, specifically mention work going on there, but I guess it might have been months ago, the first attack. Oh. Anyway, what can I do to help? Well, I don't know. You're a prince. I can't say anything about what you should do. I get my orders from Chief Teresa in Fort Grove too. She's a good one to talk about this. Yeah, well, we obviously did that. We have the quest to be here. If you force me to give advice, though, fire and steel would probably be a good place to start. Well, we do have plenty of steel, not so much fire, but, well, we do have some. You know something? I could use more iron. Yeah, and we have tons of ore piled up in the woods. We could send it wherever you want. All we need is someone to chop back the roots. Chief Teresa on 4-2, yeah, whatever. Okay. Obviously, we didn't really learn anything fundamentally new here, but you don't usually do. You cross the bridge into the woods west of the river. You can see a pile of iron nearby, iron ore, all portioned out into carefully weighted bags. The rapidly advancing roots have not yet buried it. The iron seems to keep them away. The roots do keep grabbing at your feet, though. The forest is more active out here. No humans have been out here for weeks. Oh, weeks, not months. Yeah, I guess that makes it even more realistic. Fair enough. Okay, save the game. I guess we see the ore bags here. Now this place is kind of interesting. Well, I guess it starts out pretty normal. Some enemies here. Yes, including... I think it must have gotten pretty much exactly like this. Well, minus maybe getting attacked and bled by the literally first attack, but I guess it could be worse, all things considered. The thing is, I don't know if I want to move any closer because, well, we're already seeing the feeding horror being displayed here. And, well, we've seen... Yeah, I suppose now we see it, actually. Well, we see it, but we still can't officially, take a look at it because it's only halfway revealed. Anyway, it's one of those things. But not the usual kind, I suppose. I think they can normally move. These are actually, like, immobile. Stationary. And the first time I was here, I actually managed to, well, just take out the rootlings. And that thing never did anything. And I wondered, or I assumed, rather, that... Oh, they're actually not moving at all. I wasn't sure if this thing never became aware of us and this never was officially in combat until we took it out, or even all the way through taking it out from a distance, or if it was just supposed to, only supposed to like apply buffs to these rootlings, maybe, and have a basically completely passive role in this. Can we shoot you from there? No, it's surprisingly, deceptively too far away. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna take any chances, and I'm just gonna do. Wow. It's gonna inch even closer. Not that the thing would probably be much of a problem, but... Oh, you know what? Screw it. Yeah. Just attack him like that. They are immune to poison, but, Actually, the feeding horror is not, interestingly enough. Can you not go there? Oh, it's immobile. Right. Well, in that case, I guess just wait. Yeah, now they're coming, of course. Very slowly, though. Kind of hesitant. Right, there's another one. Well, I guess we can take you up before you get a chance to do anything. And yes, the feeding horror, I guess it must have only relatively short-range attacks. Either way, it's not doing anything, so fine by me, right? So this first encounter, it's going pretty much the same as before. So that's nice. But this is not where the problem, that's not the part that gave me problems. And the part that did, well, you're gonna see. Didn't give me problems the way you might imagine, or the way I would have expected. So, I'm actually gonna heal him. And I'm just gonna take out this thing from max distance. And it seems like it's gonna go exactly the same as before. It seems literally incapable of doing anything to us. So who knows? Oh! Well, it certainly did not do that. Confusion resisted. Good to know. Well, I guess I'm gonna heal him. I don't think we're gonna recover more than 1 energy here, but just in case... Nope. Exactly 1. That's fine. I'm gonna get some money here, nothing too major. Okay, save the game. We might run into, yeah, one of these things. Okay, now the first time around this one actually surprised me because, well, it blends in very, very well, unless you're specifically looking for them. But yeah, sprinting plants. So those are a thing. I guess they just patrol around here on a little bit of a path that goes around this central clearing, which contains the problem that I've been hinting at. But the plan is to never let it become a problem, because I eventually figured out a way to deal with it. A way that certainly does not feel intentional, but I'm, to this day, which is actually the day after the original recording, but to this day I'm not sure what the official way or the intended way to deal with this dungeon is. Move past right here. Well, you stop bleeding actually, so I guess I'm gonna heal you some more. Look around here, maybe take out another of those sprinters. I think I saw one disappear just now. Now, okay, the thing is that Grove Horror right there, which has, you know, almost 1,000 health, level 9. It has 30% physical and magical evasion, 80% stun resist, 100 poison and mental resist. So, yeah, it's clearly a boss enemy, right? And right there, I mean, that seems a little bit early. I think we could have even technically sneaked around. We didn't really need to sneak a whole lot. I don't know. But we might have even completely avoided this encounter down here and made our way straight to that thing. So what's the catch, right? Well, as it turns out, there is one. I did say, right? So yeah, I'm just gonna step into this clearing here to get this official introduction. In the middle of the grove ahead, you see a hulking monstrosity, a huge tangle of roots forming a parody of a human shape. Well, like the smaller ones, I guess. Just this one is the specialty. What's special about this big one is just that it's so big. You can sense the power radiating off of it. It was not hard to find the source of the hostile magic above ground. It's a huge and formidable beast. You note that 3 paths enter the grove. Each has a single narrow path of rich grass running along it. You touch the path. It feels warm. Something nearby is feeding power into the grove, and from there to the beast. Right, so that's not something I caught onto immediately, but yes, once the game points it out, there is this patch, and obviously, you know, this stationary, what was it called? Feeding horror? Must have been kind of special. Please don't lag behind, thank you. Surprised I did not get drawn into combat here. Now, the thing is, this is not actually a path, this is just a dead end. So you have to make your way through the clearing or past here, which is also, in all the couple of times that I tried, was close enough to the monster to actually, you know, get into combat with it, and thus we were always in combat with it. Now, you know, to, I guess, to just tell you what happened rather than repeat what I tried doing multiple times, which ended up wasting so much time and confusing me so much. The thing cannot actually be killed, or not reasonably anyway. I guess it's technically possible, but as it turns out, as soon as you damage it a little bit, like after the first round of it taking damage, a message pops up basically telling you that it's, you know, like it's extending its roots into the ground and starts to heal. It heals for a good chunk of the damage it just took, and it gets a buff and whatnot. And as it later turns out, while that effect is active, it also has those 30% evasion bonuses, which will go away in the end. So, and of course, the very obvious answer is that you prevent that from happening by taking out these stationary horrors. Now, the thing is, once you're in combat with the thing, you can't really shake it off, right? And it's not like it will not follow you off the clearing. It totally will. So, I can only assume that the intended way to deal with this, to handle this dungeon, is to just be constantly in combat with it and just fight it off without actually being able to do anything about it, while you make your way to the 2 remaining horrors and take them out. And that's just all kinds of awkward and, you know, yeah, just all kinds of awkward. Now, how I ended up doing it was like this. Just sneak past in combat mode. Can you make your way there? I mean, yes. That should be good, right? Okay, good. Taking a bit of a gamble here. You cannot make it far enough. to, you know... basically, I'm exploiting the fact that while you're in combat, even if you move through an enemy's line of sight, they will not officially register you being there, because you never stopped inside of their field of vision, right? So now we should be good, can exit combat, and we never actually got spotted by the thing. Yeah, that feels... I mean, I don't know if that's an intended mechanic. I mean, it's a kind of stealth mechanic, I suppose, but it really feels more like, you know, abusing a quirk of how the combat engine works. So, and it took me a while to even attempt this. I was, you know, trying to make my way past. I spent a lot of time trying to fight it with only one of the things dead, and you know, I was making slow progress, but it also hits very hard and applies poison and bleeding like crazy. So, you know, it was a real pain, and I was just not getting it down quickly enough. I guess I could have possibly done it in the end, but obviously the way to do it is to take out these horrors and make the boss fight much easier, much more reasonable to do. Speaking of which, last time I took a lot of time taking out these serpents away from the horror, but I think we're gonna give it a try like this. I mean, it's not like they're particularly difficult. Oh, that's unfortunate, of course. It's surviving with almost no health. Yeah. Well, I suppose this is a decent opportunity to use a cone-shape attack. Yeah, actually that should work out perfectly. Hit all of them, including the boss. Well, mini-boss. Almost 200 health, or just under 200, which I feel is maybe the same as the first one. The third one, actually, which is over here, spoilers, is quite a bit healthier. This is not going great. Yeah, I mean, I was taking this encounter a lot more carefully the first time around. Oh, nice cleave. Okay, let's makes up for some of the difficulty here. Okay, we got one of the patrolling enemies here joining in. Not a big deal. It seems like this feeding horror... Never mind, it totally deals damage to us. I guess it has done that before, huh? I just wasn't really paying attention. I guess I'm gonna cure you. And I think I'm gonna... Well, we do want to kill this thing, but that enemy is going to attack... No, I'm gonna focus on the boss. That one's more dangerous for sure. Even gonna use some energy here to do some heavy hits. Critical for 17 though, my god. Come on, it's not dead. Okay, thankfully it only used some more single target hits, and that sprinting plant apparently never actually saw us. Not that they're particularly dangerous. Well, okay, now it's finally seen us. But not a big deal. Could you... Wow. Having a lot more trouble with these than I did the first time around, of course, but it's still, you know, going much faster. Not a fan of this bleeding effect here, but I guess we're... actually, it really doesn't matter, because we are just going to heal everyone. I should have probably... Yeah, I definitely should have waited until he took that damage, because now he's going to take it at full health. Okay, well, yeah, you know, it's not a big deal. Still looking pretty alright here. Was there any loot on this clearing? No. Apparently not. Okay, we got another one of these, and another one coming from there. I think there's a limited amount of them. It's not like they're constantly respawning. Nice. At least we took that one out without it fighting back at all. Can you... Oh, the cat is going crazy. Wonderful. Cat, please. Probably didn't move that close to it. Can you shoot from there? Yes. Okay, yeah, that's extremely unfortunate. How do you get 2 attacks in a row? That's just unfair. Okay. I suppose that's, I don't know, karma punishing me for scrapping the original recording or something. Not sure why karma would have anything to do with it, but oh well. You cannot move. Wow. Well then, just attack it like that. At least you got a crit to, you know, allow you to still deal some damage. Okay, you can switch targets with them, a mobile ally. That's good to know. I might have known that before. Switch back to your real ranged weapon. Just so I don't forget. We did get some energy back for that, so that's nice. Right, yes, and this feeding horror, this last one, has a lot more health, but it is by himself. He doesn't have his own, you know, party of guardians. I wonder if I should just rush in. Yeah, why not? Let's what? The path is blocked. Well, this plant, I guess. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna walk forward. It's gonna do more of those area debuffs and probably also some damage, but you know. Yeah, slow. I mean, that's kind of annoying, but not really much more than that. Suppose you can shoot. Weakness. Nice critical. Now, you can start making it bleed. No, it's bleeding immune, actually. Okay, never mind. Right, bleeding immune, but could technically be poisoned. I guess it's not really worth it for just one enemy. Well, at least this one doesn't seem to be dealing any damage. So long as it's only debuffing us. No, there we go, that's the damaging attack. Okay. But I mean, only one of us is in range, so it really could be a lot worse. Oh, that was weak. That was a heavy shot as well, or brutal blow. Or it should have been anyway. I guess we are weakened, right? So suppose that explains the lackluster damage. Can you please just... Wow, really? Okay. Here we get some money, not a whole lot, but, you know, every little bit helps. Not actually going to recover any energy from this fight, will we? Guess I'm going to top you off like this, mostly anyway. Ah yeah, we would have regained energy, of course. But that was not enough enemies. Can you stop it? I mean, they're called sprinters. I guess I just... Does it say anywhere? The speed bonus? Yes, 50% speed bonus. Okay, that explains why they actually get multiple actions per round, I suppose. Or in a row. It's probably gonna get to act again. Yep, sure enough. And of course he made us bleed, because why would he not? Just to be the maximum annoyance possible. I also really thought that we must have dealt with most of them at this point, well, if not all of them. But apparently not. Not quite. Now, I guess it's probably just us and the boss at this point, so... And as you can see, it actually no longer has the evasion bonuses. So it's not just the special effect that kicks in. There is another sprinting plant. Oh well, not a big deal. It's not just the generation or healing effect that kicks in, but also other buffs. But yeah, it does this all the time. And we still don't have that spell, you know, that mass cure spell. So that's not amazing. Anyway, we are going to move forward. Should have thought of that and switched weapons. What am I doing, actually? What am I doing? I should not have switched weapons there at all. Wow. So much for maybe being more focused today than, you know, last time. Also, wait, what am I doing not curing? Okay. This is embarrassing and annoying because I'm not sure why I'm messing up so much. Really have no excuse for that. Okay, can you... Well, I mean, yes, you can, of course. So you will actually just cure them. Although it's probably a waste. Because we're just gonna continue taking more damage. Anyway, you can move this far. In fact, you could have reached him with your melee weapon, but obviously I'm just gonna... Can he be poisoned? No. He can be bled, though. So we're gonna start applying some of that. There you go. Critical for 62 damage as well. Not bad at all. You can move over here. And since he uses that bleeding spray attack, I'm gonna try to spread out my characters around him a little bit. We should obviously also be using our buff. Well, not now, I suppose. For now, we make you bleed even more. Hit you really nice and hard. Well, you can't really do much more than just use shock. Or okay damage, I guess. Alright. I've decided to go for a single target melee attack, which is awesome. Ideal, even. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and unfortunately, line of sight was blocking Atantuo from getting affected by that. That's not what you want to see. We're also bleeding again, and obviously, well, we have exactly enough energy to do one group heal, which I guess I'm gonna have to make use of. Can we get you... And we cannot angle our cone attack over this way, because there's a wall in the way, I suppose. I could move closer. I could actually do this. So close. Almost close enough to hit all three of them. Screw it, I'm just gonna do it like this. 50 damage to both? Not bad at all. Swap to your melee weapon, I guess, and maybe hope for a cleave? That would be nice. Or I could guarantee to hit both with a whirlwind. Nice, okay. We got slowed, oh well. Actually, we're still sped up. Most of us, anyway. Attack the boss. I mean, Atantuo is getting beaten up a little bit here, but actually a lot, but let's see how much poison does. Yeah, I guess fireballs are more powerful, huh? So probably still worth using, even if it's more expensive. You're gonna approach from this side, do a heavy attack like that. You drink another potion, your last potion. Probably shouldn't have used the last one before. Why did you turn around? I literally did not touch anything. And I saw his character sprite turning around. Right? I'm not crazy. Obviously he did turn around. He was facing the boss before. That's just, okay, weird, to say the least. Anyway. You know, I probably should have had him use the, whatchamacallit strike that buffs him, because he didn't get the buff before. That's fine though, I guess. Just focusing on killing the boss. At least he's not taking a ton of damage. And it seems like we're gonna be fine mana-wise. So... Can you not move? Oh, you totally can. I guess I must have misclicked before. So... Please? Nice, okay. That wasn't as much damage as last time. But I'll take it. The boss is bleeding more. Shock spell. Normal shot. 36. Heavy blow. 60. And it's bleeding even more. Okay. But the boss is dead, finally. Yeah, this did not go very smoothly at all. But, you know, we made it, and we might even be able to save Atantuo. We absolutely should be able to. The root horror has finally taken too much damage to hold itself together. It collapses to the ground, a tangle of rotting vegetation. You instantly feel the forest growing less oppressive. The Havenites don't have to worry about being strangled. On the surface, anyway. You can still sense powerful magic here, under your feet. There is still much work to be done. And this is, of course, where I got worried, because, well, while I wasn't quite as beaten up the first time around, after, you know, finally figuring out how to handle this in a sensible way, that is, without being constantly harassed by the grove horror, trying to, you know, struggling to take out those vine horrors. That just would have been horrible. And I just can't believe that that's how you're supposed to do it. Anyway, it's still confusing me. Even now, apparently. Even though it doesn't matter anymore. But yeah, even though I wasn't quite as beaten up, I was kind of worried about this final sentence here. Much to be done. But, you know, I figured I'd give it a shot, obviously. What I'm gonna do now, first and foremost, before he actually succumbs to his damage over time effects, save him like that, and gonna wait for that 1 point? 2 points of energy back? No, 1. Good enough, though. We're gonna... Well, no, actually only really 2 of us need any healing, but I mean, it's the same amount, right? So, might as well. Row bronze armor is not good at all, but we can sell it. Actually, it also has a speed penalty. Despite really not being... Well, I suppose it's just considered medium armor, despite not being good. Yeah, it's just tier 1. The Feather Charm, though, on the other hand, gives a speed bonus. Now, currently... Chip is the slowest between all of us. He also has the highest physical armor. So what I did, and I'm going to do again, is I'm going to actually hand this over to Atantuo, giving him that extra bit of armor instead. Because he actually has only, like, I'm going to take a look, but Chip was, he had 37 physical armor total. Now he's down to 36, which is still pretty good. And I think he just had the full minus 10% speed from his armor, and no bonuses to make up for it. Whereas everyone else is neutral or in the positive, actually. So at least now he's down to only 5% speed penalty. Of course, I could decide to make someone to for example make Atantuo especially speedy to give him more of an edge over enemies. But I think not having someone lag significantly behind is maybe more worthwhile. Anyway, that's what I went with, and I still think that's a good decision. So here we go. Got a decent reward out of that. There might even be more. I thought there was more. I did loot this, didn't I? Just making sure. Yeah, okay. That was just... Oh, and this one didn't actually have anything. Right. Okay, yeah, so this path opened up after we dealt with the horror. And I tentatively made my way forward. Was there something here? No. Okay. I thought there was some extra bit of loot somewhere, but maybe not. Maybe that's just wishful thinking. You emerge into the clearing surrounding the mine workshop and barracks. Fortunately, most of Haven's facilities here are still intact. All the iron slowed the roots down. You hear a crash to the south, followed by a cheer. The convicts have managed to chop away the trees blocking the path. Surprisingly fast work. But, you know... saving me from having to backtrack all the way around. Not that it would have been a very long backtrack, but, you know. Hey there. I cleared the horrors out of the groves to the west. Sergeant Dillon brightens up. You hear that, scum? You can rescue the ore from the woods now. Put it to work for the good of Haven. Let's hear a cheer. The prisoners let out a few half-hearted grunts. Thank you, Prince. We'll reclaim our barracks. I'm sure Chief Teresa would love to hear about this. She's in Fort Grove too, yes. Any other problems? Well, we have taken the surface, it's true. However, the roots are still down in the mines, looking to strangle. You're Havenites. Why don't you clear out the mines? I'm sorry, Prince. The convicts aren't reliable fighters, and I just don't have enough soldiers for a job like that. Or enough things that burn. Well, I guess I can investigate the mines. I know Prince Sutter and you are accomplished hunters. Bet this is just another fun adventure for you. She laughs. Wow. Well, I mean, I guess in a way it is. Isn't it? Yeah, at least it's supposed to be fun. Right. But yeah, as it turns out, the door doesn't actually open quite yet, so this dungeon is completely intended to. And I was the first time around I wasn't sure, of course. I had not actually first checked the mine doors. But I argued or reasoned that, you know, now that this event has been triggered and the wall of trees has been removed, if nothing else, even if enemies respawn over in the west forest when we retreat, we can always return and take this shortcut and head straight into the mines, right? So we could have handled it, I could have treated it as a, you know, two-part mission, but as it turns out, the game actually forces you to make it a two-part mission, so there's that. And we can, however, enter the barracks, and I think there were some minor things in here. Some minor things, no pun intended. Nothing here, apparently. Oh, that's locked and I don't have the key. Wait. Was that the case before? I didn't remember that at all. Well, there's something in here that we're allowed to take. I completely forgot about this locked door. I guess we're gonna get that unlocked for well, for clearing out the rest of the mine, maybe. Huh. If so, I never returned for it. So I guess another positive about this whole situation. Right. Also, it turns out that there are some enemies left in here after all. Or left up here, specifically. I guess she did specifically say that the ground level was cleared, not the upper floors of the building. So let's quickly take care of that, even though we technically don't need to, I suppose. These enemies might even despawn after we leave. Fireball gets all of these. Yeah, don't mind if I do then. That's pretty efficient. Check out that guy before it gets a chance to do anything. Okay. A good effort, not good enough, but you know. I guess almost finishing off these enemies is kind of an ongoing theme here. I guess they have just that amount of health, huh? It's, yeah. Making them likely to be brought close to death by 2 attacks, but not quite killed. Anyway, yeah, that should be all. There is a reward here, except that the game claims it's not mine. However, since that only means that I literally cannot loot it while someone's looking, I'll just take it because, you know, I think I've earned it, and there's obviously no one up here. And I did take out these monstrosities for them, so I feel like I deserve it. Anyway, yeah, we're done with this part, and a little bit faster than the first time around. Honestly, not as much faster than probably should have been, considering, you know, that I didn't actually need to spend the time to figure out what was going on and how to handle that boss fight. But oh well. Back to the fort. I guess we have some things to sell. Specifically, this armor and this axe, which is just a much worse version than that axe that we found somewhat recently. So we just get rid of that. Yeah. Battle Healer Rune. Oh, you know what? I think last time I actually put this into his weapon. That's one thing I forgot to do. That's why we struggled so much. No, obviously that's not really... that wouldn't have made a significant difference. However, that is a thing that I did. I replaced the 5% hit chance rune with the Battle Medic one for now. Which, well, the game doesn't state it explicitly because this Battle Medic only has 1 rank naturally. I'm assuming that it gives you an extra 25% chance, so for a total of 50% chance not to use action points after healing or blessing, which is obviously pretty good. So yeah, not bad at all. Gonna keep that in reserve. Eventually he's gonna have more slots to use for that kind of thing. Although even the best ones that are available for money unfortunately only have 2 slots in them. So yeah, but of course to make up for that you do have the offhand item, which also provides some. Yeah, right. But for now, we head over to Chief Teresa, who is down here. The only competent, non-corrupted person in here. As you speak, Chief Teresa constantly pulls maps and documents off the shelves, rattling off trivia about the economics of the Kranus Woods. You frequently have to prod her to get to the point. She is young and very nervous. But, you know, she has the right idea anyway, unlike everyone else around. The workers of the Walkwood mines are back in their barracks. You tell Chief Teresa the tale. She sits enchanted. You are reminded how young and inexperienced she is. Shipments of ore are already arriving from the mine. More supplies are already available for rebuilding. However, this isn't all we can do. We have reached our stores, but we still can't dig out fresh ore. I know. Can we get more value out of the Walkwood mines? Yes, if the mines themselves could be worked. However, the convicts can work the tunnels. If they were able to, we could get even more iron for the rebuilding effort. I mean, we really don't need any more information. We literally just came from there. We know exactly what's going on. So, and we already have the quest anyway. You know, the next part of the quest. So the person you're asking to clear the mines is, yes, you. Right. We do gain something immediately, though. Plus, the mine is, yeah, that's actually literally what the mine is producing, of course. 6 and 4. I mean, not bad. That does technically allow us to build a couple of things. In fact, it allows us to build the whole mill, distillery, and bakery chain for some extra shop price reduction, plus, you know, the theoretical potion benefit from the distillery that I'm not sure I've ever seen actually work. I mean, I suppose it's only a 6% chance for the two that I have had up till now. We cannot afford the apothecary. We could upgrade the fort. Now, is that more immediately useful? I guess I could build the fort and the mill, because we're gonna unlock even more iron production by you know, freeing the rest of the mines. I don't know. I didn't upgrade the fort last time. Last time I just built these 3, and I suppose ultimately it doesn't matter that much. I'm gonna get everything in the end anyway. Well, aside from that, unfortunately we have some relatives to talk to. So let's get that out of the way, shall we? When you approach the mirror, it fills with mist. You hear your sister Delia calling to you from far away. Hello, brother. Brother, are you there? You greet her. Good. I'm glad you found your way to a mirror. The Queen asked me to give you advice in diplomatic matters. It is clear that we need more calm and control. Yes, indeed. I'm guessing this is in response to, or I suppose at this point I know that it's in response to having talked to the next governor. So, yeah, I pretty much know what this is going to be all about. Don't I? Well, let's try to be nice, although obviously she's not going to answer, or at least not answer honestly. How are things at home? A pause. We are well. Don't worry about us, brother. Concentrate on on our mother's mission, and you'll be home soon enough. Right, and then we'll see how bad things really are. I don't think I need any help. Well, I mean, she's not Sutter, so although I'm more and more annoyed by her as well, but I'm gonna try to be nice, at least not gonna be rude. Sure, I welcome your advice. You grow wiser by the day. Keeping track of Haven's many generals and governors is one of my jobs, after all. Right now, I'm interested in one governor in particular. Who are we discussing? I mean, really? Is there even any question about that? The shuffling of paper. Sorry, I want to make sure I get the name right. Governor Yvette? Yes, our main official in the Crona's Woods. We know that you have gotten a look at the province and met the governor. I would very much like your first impressions. There's a lot of logging going on. Logging as in cutting down trees, or... I guess. The governor offered me a bribe. Yeah. Should I mention that, though? I don't know. I didn't last time, because I was afraid... Well, not afraid, but I just basically predicted that the game would... you know, or that Delia would just, you know, berate me for even bringing that up, and, you know, telling me that it's a perfectly normal thing and I shouldn't worry about it. We have, you know, more important things to worry about, and she's definitely right about that. Still, let's see if I'm correct. Really? I hope it was a good one. You deserve it. Don't be too offended. The main question is what the bribe is for. General respect or minor influence? Fine. Go to get you to ignore... general respect or minor influence? Fine. Okay. To get you to ignore wrongdoing? Not as good. Not as good, but still acceptable, I guess. Yeah, well, I suppose in the end I should have taken it just so that, you know, I would have the money instead of her. But oh well. If it's counsel said she's not competent, well, it's true, but obviously I don't need her counsel to tell me that, and I also don't want to get him into trouble. She's incompetent and competent and in control. Well, competent at what she's trying to do, I guess, but not in control. She's losing control. Which probably means that she's... I mean, if she's actually convinced, if she actually managed to convince herself that things are going to be fine despite what she's doing, and that she's not destabilizing the region to the point, or hasn't already, to the point where it's no longer under control and where it's going to lead to conflict, then she actually is incompetent. Either way, she's corrupt and causing problems for us, as you are well aware, of course. You're correct, of course. I only wanted to know if you could recognize it and if you would report it accurately. The governor is getting rich logging the Crona's Woods, and the province is becoming unstable as a result. Right, so once again, you didn't actually need me to determine it. But you also don't actually, you're actually not interested in my opinion either way. You're gonna, because obviously she's going to tell me that we cannot actually replace her. And obviously, again, I'm going to insist still, and, you know, ignore all her advice. Because, where'd be the fun in not doing that? The situation will need to be dealt with, however, there are factors. Yeah, factors. Haven has many factions, many powerful and wealthy families. We are royalty, of course, but we still need to get their support to maintain our position and our heads. Governor Yvette is the daughter of a powerful family. Their influence got her the job, and they like the wealth she's bringing them very much. So removing her at this chaotic time would be difficult. Sure, I do see the logic to that. However, since, unlike Otto, Yvette is actively working on destabilizing the region even more, advertently or inadvertently, doesn't really matter. And she's not stopping unless we literally stop her. I think, despite any complications it will bring, no doubt, we have to remove her from her office. You know, with Otto, arguably, he could have been tolerated for a little while longer. I just don't like him, and that's why I'm insisting in his case. But in Yvette's case, I think it's just not excusable at all. There can't be any argument about that. Yvette seems to have figured out the system pretty well. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. I mean, she certainly thinks so. And she, no doubt, feels very safe. And that alone is reason enough to, you know, show her how wrong she is. I'll leave her alone, it's not my business. No, it totally is. The governor needs replacing. I agree with you, but not now. Sorry, Delia, it's my call. The Queen would agree with me. This is not the time for self-indulgent moral grandstanding, and while that is part of it, it's not the main reason here. I really think that keeping her, you know, letting her do what she's doing for even, you know, a day longer, or, well, maybe a week or a month longer, would potentially be catastrophic. Calm things down and get out. We will speak again soon, brother. Yeah, well, I'm sure we will. The thing is, I literally cannot calm things down in this region without stopping Yvette, right? I mean, she's just gonna keep angering the glades, what now? What are they called? Groves. That's, you know, sure, same thing, I guess. And thus angering the population. So, yeah, unfortunately, to calm things down, I have to remove her. And now we have Sutter. The mirror brings Prince Sutter's voice to you. He sounds more thoughtful than usual, even a little confused. It's rather strange. He says, Atantuo, I need a moment of your time. Our mages, the ones who maintain and power these mirrors, have come to speak with me. They think that others are trying to speak through them. Perhaps someone has made a mirror of their own. Has anyone besides us tried to speak with you through the mirrors? Well, yes. They specifically asked me to not mention it to anyone. However, of course I don't feel any kind of obligation to honor Wolf's wishes. While I'm generally willing to hear him out and, you know, act in the interest of, well, of the people of the Rokaj, as opposed to purely in the interest of Haven, I don't like that he's trying to control me. So, the only thing that's making me hesitate about telling Sutter immediately, which is an option, as is lying, and I'm sure this is going to be important at some point, in some way. The only reason why I'm hesitating is because it's Sutter, and, you know, I kind of hate him. But I feel like it's the right thing to tell someone. I just feel like lying for Wolf is even worse. I don't have any kind of reason to do that. It's also interesting that I can just pretend not to know what he's talking about. But I'm pretty sure that he's just gonna know anyway. Either way, I'm gonna tell him about Wolf. I see. Tell me more. You give Sutter the outlines of the encounter. So the mirrors are no longer secure. Maybe this Wolf found a way to make one. This should not have happened. I will shout at our wizards. Do you know who this Wolf is, or what Wolf's plans are? Last time I picked this option here, and Sutter interpreted that as, well, I guess rightfully interpreted that or correctly interpreted that, as me planning to, you know, investigate for myself, which obviously I'm going to do. But let's just be as brief as possible. There. Not surprising. Fortunately, the damage is minimal. This wolf seems rather convincing. I don't want anyone distracting you or putting treason in your head at this critical moment. I should be really offended, and in fact I am really offended by the fact that he even mentioned the word treason here. I mean, really. Does he trust me that little? If Wolf contacts you again, we don't want you to speak with him. Well, that's noted. I will talk to whoever I choose, though. Yeah. I choose to talk to him, I can outwit him. I mean, that's the hope, of course. I'm not sure to what extent I'm just gonna be played no matter what I want to have happen, right? Because if the game insists in having its way, it will have its way, and will move the story in whatever direction it chooses. I won't let Wolf corrupt my thoughts, but I lie about that. I will let Wolf corrupt my thoughts. Corrupt me, Wolf. You know, I want to be rude to Sutter, but I'm also curious about this option. I can outwit him. Prince Sutter can't help but laugh. Insulting. Yes, indeed. Oh, Atantuo, Haven has masters of intrigue. You are not one of them. Wow. You know what? I'm not even gonna read what else he has to say. I'm just pretending to turn around and walk away. Which I should have just done immediately, anyway. I should have picked the first option. It was less infuriating, but, well, I guess now I'm even more convinced than ever to treat Sutter with the least amount of respect the game allows me. Forever and ever. Okay, let's head up to the Walkwood Mines and finish what we started. The time is, believe it or not, still a little bit more encouraging than it was last time, because yeah, I just ended up lamenting a lot more as I do, and I also spend more time dealing with this first section as you know than I did this time around. So yeah, we're still a little bit better off, and this should be, well, this shouldn't be too bad. We'll see. You enter the mines. The convicts chopped away the roots blocking the door, but they didn't set one foot inside. Cowards. You smell freshly turned earth. Vines and roots protrude out of the dirt walls and at crazy angles. It's like the forest is closing a fist around the tunnels, ready to crush them. The side galleries have already collapsed. Soon this mine will be useless. You reach down and touch the earth. It's vibrating slightly. Well, since I know what's coming, more or less. Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter if I know it's coming, because we can't really stop it from happening either way. But yeah, roots reach out of the dirt and grab your ankles. Not unusual. Well, I mean, I suppose it should be unusual, except that we've come to expect it from this place particularly. Except this time the roots are thick and they hold on. You are held immobilized. As you try to break free, the ground starts to shake. Roots shoot out of the ground ahead and behind you. They knot themselves into horrible humanish forms and lurch toward you. Right. And thus begins the ambush. So we're trapped between these two groups of enemies. And we are only entangled, so it's not as bad as it could be. I'm gonna start with a buff because, as I now know, there are a bunch of these enemies. Which of course also means that we're gonna recover a good amount of action points after this fight, so I'm not too worried, right? I forgot about the entanglement. Wait, were you already on your bow? I thought I specifically moused over these rootlings to see if I... Okay, well, I guess keep your sword out for now then. Nice one. Alright, they're here now. Yeah, I guess we do still have our ranged weapons out. Should have known, should have just looked down there. Thing is, well, I know that yellow means it's selected, but that doesn't stop me from sometimes second-guessing myself. Okay, first attack evaded. That's good. Please kill this one. Nice. I like how this is going. This is definitely going better than the first time around because... because of the buff, I guess. Because I didn't buff the first time around, I didn't know, of course, that it was a large ambush, and spoilers, there are going to be more waves of enemies spawning anytime soon. Anytime soon? Sometime soon. anytime now. And thus, of course, in hindsight, it would have been worthwhile buffing right away, just to get through them more quickly. More monsters, right? Just more normal rootlings, though. I guess since these are closer, we're going to focus on them now. Block the damage, I like it. We could definitely be using some more... Oh, we can actually move freely now. Yeah, we can move some of our energy. Because again, we're going to regain a decent amount after this fight. These enemies should not be able to reach us right away. Okay, that one did. They're spread out a little bit more than I would have hoped for, but I guess that's alright. Can you reach this one? You can. Oh, sure, might as well. Oh, and we got the cleave with a brutal blow. That's actually really good. And we can get all three with a poison ring. Alright, of course, that one actually dodged, so, you know, questionable usefulness there, or efficiency, but it's okay. You're dead. I guess I'm going to be a little bit careful with her mana, because... Oh, that was a miss apparently, I wasn't looking. Oh well. Ooh, almost dead. Could it actually die? No, it's going to survive with 1 hit point. Pretty sure bleeding deals 7 damage at this point. You cannot quite reach that one, so... shoot it now, and the next... And I think final wave of enemies spawned here. Yeah, it's a lot of them, huh? We might regain 4 energy after this fight. So I guess I'm gonna save her mana. Okay, evaded. That's very good. Actually no longer buffed, but it's not like these enemies are really any more dangerous than the normal rootlings. Not really sure what their special ability is, if they have one. Nice double bleed. I like it. Still probably not enough. Again, not quite enough to take it out. Just like that. Oh well. Okay, yeah, that was enough to take that one out, thankfully. This one got one final attack off before I got a chance to finish it off, although I guess it's actually gonna die now, so might as well focus on the other one. Can you reach? Yes. Nice. So we win. Okay, you can actually, well, I guess just throw out a heal and do 3... Only 3? No, 4, I guess. We did get 4 back. Yeah, nice. So, yeah, that worked out just about as well as the first time around, I guess. Even though we buffed this time. I might have actually buffed later. Like when the withered ones spawned. Even though it felt less, you know, efficient then. Because obviously I was... I knew that we must have been getting close to the end of that section. Anyway, we're free to go down now. And turns out that there's something going on with the scale between these two maps here, because obviously these staircases are a lot closer together on the top level than here. Not really sure what's going on with that, but you know, details, I guess. And here we see these things, inactive roots. Well, here we see the name, here we see the sprite, so more of those big guys. Can actually get a look at them. Level 9 as expected. A lot less health than the horror in the Western Forest, and no real evasion to speak of. Cannot be poisoned, but can be bled. So yeah, doesn't seem too bad. However, there are apparently at least 2 of them. And in fact, well, the mine tunnels open up into a huge natural cavern. Roots have torn up the stone floors in patches, enabling huge clumps of roots to grow into the cave. The roots form 4 more of these huge root monsters. They are moist and fresh and only barely formed. When you enter the cave, they immediately react. They begin to struggle. The roots holding them to the ground break so that they can lurch after you. It looks like the one to the northeast will break loose first. Right, so the one to the northeast aka this one. So, yep, in fact, it has actually turned into a root of the circle rather than inactive roots. But the stats seem to be exactly the same. 30% speed bonus, so that's not nothing. But either way. So yeah, obviously how this is going to work. Oh, confusion, that's not great. Oh, it wasn't her turn. What? Wasn't she highlighted until just now? Okay, either way. We're still gonna buff, even though confusion sucks, but we don't have a way to actively cure that anyway. We'll have to hope for Pat's passive effect to kick in. Well, unfortunately, you cannot reach that one. You can reach that one, and as far as I can tell... Oh. Interesting. That didn't happen last time. Okay, well, so as I was starting to say, before I got interrupted, the way this is supposed to work is you just focus on the one that's obviously freed himself first. The others aren't going to do anything, and they're going to take several turns to struggle and break free. And so long as you kill the active one quickly enough, you're never going to have to deal with more than one, or maybe a couple at a time at most, or 2 at a time or so. So, yeah, this definitely has a chance to not be so bad. I feel like I need to do some curing here, or else we're going to take a ton of bleeding damage. Okay. At least we removed most of that. Well, I suppose since that one is active already, we might as well shoot it. And it's going to keep doing that. This is really bad, actually. You know what? Let's not be silly. So actually, okay, just to quickly recap. The first time I did this, I just killed this guy, and by the time he died, or it died, none of the others had woken up yet. And I saw, which might have happened this time, I just wasn't paying attention, but occasionally, struggling to break free or something will appear above them. I guess whenever they actually get their turn. And I saw that first on this guy, so I thought this one was actually about to break free. And so I rushed over to this one and started attacking. And, well, it actually took quite a while for it to become active, to the point where it didn't really get to do much of anything before I killed it. And then I did the same with the 2 remaining ones, and it ended up being an extremely easy encounter. Yeah, actually, I see now that they constantly say break free, like whenever they get their turn, yeah. So, either way, now I know not to actually attack one prematurely, or else it's gonna be bad. Because, yeah, we don't want to be hit by multiple of these effects, if you can help it. But so long as you do actually only face one at a time, it's, not so bad. We definitely have a good reason to stay as far away from them as possible, though. Oh well, I mean, if nothing else, at least they die pretty quickly. Okay. We're gonna bleed more. I guess there's just no helping it. But we might as well try. Critical for 51, not bad. If we get one more attack in here... Oh, the row endures? Nice! We did get cured from the confusion. He's down to 39. He's also bleeding for 21. Yeah, so just any normal hit will finish it up. Yes, there we go. Awesome. Now, I don't know which one of these is going to struggle or going to break free first, but it might actually not matter. Maybe, well, I don't know. Maybe they're all going to break free after a certain number of turns anyway. So it's just a matter of choosing the first one, myself. And that's just going to be the one that we're going to have to deal with. I would like for Chip to attack physically. You know what? He can actually do that by rushing. And he rushed all the way up there, which is actually good in case this guy, targets one of the 2. At least it's not going to target the others. Oh, this one did break free next. Interesting. Never mind. So they are, I guess, set to break free in a certain order. That's not amazing, but We'll deal with it, I guess. At least this one is basically dead, I guess. Almost. He's gonna have to take a little bit extra damage, but there we go. Bit of a wasted crit there. And of course you attack these two. I mean, we have plenty of healing available. All of our potions still there, so not a big deal whatsoever. But I'm also going to get rid of the bleeding effects. Okay, this one's still not broken free. Okay. Confusion is annoying, but well, we haven't actually seen it do anything particularly bad yet. Maybe the chances for it to actually trigger... oh yeah, okay, in this case it made him vulnerable. Oh well. It says it has a chance to fear, which is obviously probably the worst that it can do. Yeah, not only because it takes control away from your character entirely, but also because it, makes them run around and get into all kinds of trouble. But, yeah, debuffs I guess we can deal with. Well, this one is going to become active sooner or later, so I guess there's no reason to hold back or anything. Could have tried to maybe slow it down or something. I'm going to rush, or I would like to. There we go. The pillar was in the way, I suppose. I mean, I guess you can weaken it. Sure, why not? It did work, so that's nice. He got stunned, but at least the confusion is gone. So there's that. 60 damage from a shock, not bad. Okay, he broke free, but didn't actually deal any damage. Heavy hit. Don't know why I didn't shock, but I guess at this point we just won. There, one final rush, 28 damage, we stunned it and it died from only a single stack of bleeding. Awesome. Yeah, so despite going a little bit, well, I guess the second attempt here went pretty smoothly. Even though we accidentally woke one up ahead of time. But yeah, even with that, not a very difficult encounter, which really makes me wonder if that root horror, whatever it was called in the upstairs in the Western Forest, was really supposed to be as difficult as it seems to be, or it seems like it could have been if I had not, well, quote unquote, cheated. But again, maybe the game intended for me to do what I did in the first place. So who knows? Either way, neither of these parts ended up being particularly dangerous or difficult. So I guess I can't really complain about getting a lot of resources here for not a ton of effort. You destroy the final root monster hiding in the bottom of the mine. The roots immediately calm down. The hostile magic in the air fades away. The Crownless Woods are huge and full of power, but they can't resist the concentrated power of Haven. Well, at least they definitely couldn't here. Not with this kind of puny resistance. Haven will be able to extract precious iron from this mine as soon as the convicts are beaten into action. Well, let's hope that's not literally possible, literally necessary, rather. We're gonna heal just because. Not that we are actually gonna have to fight anything anymore. Right, there is this sneaky chest here that I almost missed last time. Didn't, though. And then two much more obvious ones. Those were just for money, but we do get something kind of nice here. Anyway, more deep metal ore, which unfortunately is only worth money. It's not proper deep metal, I guess, but amber, that's much more useful, much more valuable. And I suppose we might not get nearly as much of that as we otherwise could if we're, since we've been asked and are going to honor the wish, of course, of not exploiting the sacred groves as much as we could. Oh well, I'm sure we are still going to have enough amber for everything we need in the end. Swamp Runner Band, though. So, similar to this neck item, except, of course, that this one also has 3 slots in addition to the damage effects. Damage to reptiles, plant things, and bugs. I suppose that's kind of specific. That certainly doesn't cover all kinds of of animals we encounter. But specifically here in the Kranas, I guess we're going to be dealing with a lot of plant things. And probably a good number of reptiles too, so... We haven't really encountered much in terms of bugs, have we? I suppose some spiders, mostly. Yeah, either way, it's a nice thing to have. Obviously not better than +2 to bloodletting, which we're going to increase to 3 total with the rune once we actually use it. I think I ended up giving this to... Well, I was arguing that this ring, right, with the +1 max energy, isn't really nearly as useful anymore as it used to be near the beginning of the game. Because, you know, at this point, 1 energy is, you know, much less of our overall energy pool. Still nice though, and the thing is, even though I would like to replace this by something better, I'm not sure this is necessarily the most useful one to replace it with, because, I mean, Ray is never going to be our main damage dealer, right? That being said, this will make him a little bit better against those enemies. On the other hand, he does still benefit from the extra energy. I mean, it's an extra heal or cure, you know, that might make the difference in the end. And I think I ended up giving this to Chip, because, you know, while the hit chance is nice, he already has, well, 5% hit chance from the rune and the sword, and eventually he's going to have a helmet with an extra 5% hit chance. So, you know, I don't want to rely on this for, you know, all of the game, basically. Because it's just kind of a lame thing to have. I mean, yeah, it's useful, but I kind of, you know, extra damage is more exciting. So, let's hope it's not going to cripple him or anything. It's definitely not going to. Also, I'm definitely going to replace this eventually if I find anything better, you know. I mean, this is going to help against those particular enemies, of course, but not in any other situation. So, yeah, it's neat, but it's not amazing. But maybe better than just straight up hit chance. I don't know. Obviously, hit chance helps in every combat. Except, I suppose, in those where enemies don't even have any increased chances to dodge. So, well, I don't know. I guess it's not necessarily an upgrade or a downgrade. It's just a side grade, I suppose. But it's different. And maybe a little bit more interesting. And that's why I'm choosing to use it. Anyway, where is... Oh, there she is. I cleaned out the mines for you. We knew you would. Prince Sutter and you are famous warriors. Yeah, could you maybe stop mentioning my stupid brother? She turns to the convicts. Hear that, scum? No more relaxing. Back into the mines with you. Yeah, get back to work. You work for your prince and the glory of Haven. Nah, just go back to work. Shouting at villains is actually very therapeutic, is it? You feel directly involved in the justice system of Haven. The scum prepares to trudge back into the pit. Nice, I guess. Now, is this place already more productive? No, I suppose we have to head back and officially turn in the quest, which I guess we will do before I call this an episode. Which, again, believe it or not, is still quite a bit shorter than the original was. So, win-win, I guess, of sorts. Yeah, I'm just gonna sell this one. I was gonna replace it eventually, so might as well do it now. Right, so we head over to the chief and tell her the Walkwood mines have been completely reclaimed. Nice, and that was actually enough to level us up. I meant to take a look at our experience beforehand, but I forgot. It's fine. Because I knew we were pretty close. I wanted to see if it was if we got the exact same amount of experience from the enemies, or if there's some randomness to it. Right. If there is, it's going to be minor, so not really a big deal. Heavily word of your victory arrived here before you did, somehow. Walkwood mines are completely restored. Even better, I have made sure all of its iron will be under your control. Nobody would dare steal resources from a prince. Well, I feel like Yvette maybe would, but, well. She laughs. How about that? An actual improvement. I still hunger for fresh resources. I wish I could help you, but I have done all I can. The best way to find new supplies of iron is to go to Sillin to the west. Right. Thanks for 4 and 6 more, which brings us to a total of 10 and 10 produced by this mine. That's actually not bad at all. Now, that means that we can easily build all 3 of these. Or maybe I should upgrade the fort. I guess I could do that. You know what? I will. There you go. And build the mill and the bakery. Which still leaves us with a relatively comfortable 5 iron to work with. No quicksilver, of course, but oh well. We're going to start working on fixing that next episode, actually, because the plan is, as I might have mentioned, to head over to Fort Hailstone and make our way to Spiral Mine to reclaim that as quickly as possible. I'm not going to visit Jajayim quite yet, I think. And I guess I might have talked about all of these plans before, but yeah, just to remind myself mostly. So the plan is to conquer Spiral Mine for a nice boost of Quicksilver, so we can, get a few more alchemists built, mostly. Maybe a few more fortresses, a few more forts upgraded, actually, for what it's worth. And, yeah, then return to the Kranis Woods and deal with some of these quests here. Or, well, I suppose all of these quests in the southern part, anyway. I also wanted to visit the Tower of the Erodico. I suppose I can obviously do that on the way to Fort Hailstone, because, well, I just dedicated the fort, didn't I? Wait, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay. I guess I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna just pick the 3rd. I decided to, on a 1-3-3, I think. I noted it down to remind myself. Yes, 3 diplomacy, 3 industry, and only 1 knowledge. For my final distribution, and I guess I might as well max out, so to speak, dedication to the row. And on my way to the Letha, I'll take another look at the upgrades available, and if I'm hoping that maybe, where's the button I'm looking for? Maybe I'm gonna have enough resources. Actually, I have good amount of resources here. That might be enough to buy 1 or maybe even 2 of those actual diplomacy perks, and get those out of the way. Or we'll see what else there might be available. We did definitely get a good number of these resources, so we should be able to buy at least 1 or 2 things with that. Right. Also, of course, we have to level up, so I'm going to take a look at that off camera. I'm going to place the other buildings I built and, all that stuff. And, yeah. Do that, and next time we head, I guess, for the tower first, and then further northward. For the time being, I thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and I shall see you real soon. Bye-bye.